Jai Sriman Narayan.
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 I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to the 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that are watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. A very, very, very special welcome to our Eminence Prince Buthelezi. I want to stand, and I want you to stand as well. You can sit, Your Eminence. We stand in for you. This is the mark of respect we need to give a bona fide leader of society. And I'm still standing. I want you to still stand whilst I introduce him. His love for South Africa is so great that at the age of 93, in this cold, rainy day, our leader chose to be here today. Initially, he has smaller leaders like Les Governor, and Les Governor is supposed to come with 10 members from the IFP. Now you can look at the difference between his smaller leaders and himself. This hall is full to capacity. I cannot see any of my devotees. I myself have been converted into IFP. And this is the influence of a pure leader.
Yes.
And this is why, you can give him a hand. And this is why the Supreme Lord has made it possible for him to be seated in our presence today. Thank you very much, Your Eminence. I hope the rest of South Africa follows your suit when it comes to caring for our country. Yes. Many of them are sleeping. Some of them are getting up with a whiskey and some bright chops. But they are the people that's complaining, Your Eminence, that this country is in a bad state, whilst they're having the whiskeys, the cigarettes, and the chops. They should follow in your footsteps if they want a change in this country.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me try this one. Your Eminence, the word impossible does not exist in God's vocabulary. And on Wednesday, your small leader told me that it's impossible to get you here today. We were at a meeting and I held his hand and I infused the power of God in him, that when he speaks to you and the rest of the protocol, you all must be brainwashed into accepting this invite. I thank you and your membership in attending this service today. You have sacrificed electioneering to come to this ashram. This is how great you are, and this is how great your followers are. Your Eminence, if you look around, you'll see it's only the IFP. I want the same to happen in government. Yes. Like this, yes. All fears of government. Yes. Walk in and take over. Yes. And I'm saying this, Your Eminence, because for the very first time, I saw you as a person. I always used to see you on TV. I saw you in person about 15 years ago in Ilovo. I was conducting my business there. I was not a guru. I was an ordinary businessman, and my heart had a desire to see you. I think you was in your 70s that time, and you was much bigger and taller and stronger, and I just did not want to break protocols to come and see you. It was election time. I don't know whether it was municipal or national, but you were there and I had a desire. And as I said, the word impossible does not exist in God's vocabulary. Today God brought you here, so I could have you with the greatest respect and protocols at this ashram today. You have done an excellent job, Your Eminence, in instilling values in your leaders of society and your membership. And I've met Les. I know him for many, many years, but I personally met him 3 times this year. And he was at a debate at Amslanga restaurant, in a restaurant which I also attended. And whilst he was speaking, I connected with his truth. And I think subsequently God has put all of us together. And he said that since your inception as a leader of the IFP, you have never had a corrupt leadership. Your Eminence, this is a world standard. This is not a South African standard. This is a world standard. You are a world leader to have cultivated in your leadership, especially when you were in charge of many of the municipalities, and the gravy train was ever present. But it was your diligence in instilling these values in your own leadership that today I feel embarrassed not to have associated with you 20, 30 years ago. Like many South Africans, I was also hoodwinked into the bigger dreams. And like many South Africans, we forgot the morals and ethics of a human being. You did not forget, Your Eminence.
Yes.
You did not forget. You may not have ruled South Africa as a president in your lifetime, but I know you stood as president on 2 or 3 occasions during your lifetime.
22.
Sorry, no, he stood as president of this country during Nelson Mandela's rule. So maybe you wasn't a president, but you stood there. But I'm sure one of those that you nurtured is going to stand as president. Sometime, Your Eminence, there is a saying that when you plant the seed, you may not enjoy the shade. But you have planted the seed of truth. The seed of truth is a very hard tree to cultivate. There are so many temptations by the sun, by the wind, by the clouds, that this tree takes a while to grow. But when it grows, it is deep rooted in morality and ethics. And you will have children, grandchildren of your Inkatha Freedom Party that's going to have their roots well embedded on this South African soil. I have invited you here, Your Eminence, because this country, there's a lot of political opportunists that are using our humanity to gain political points. I remember the day, Your Eminence, when we used to live like this, how we are seated in this hall today. This love between African and Indian is a natural love. When I wore the IFP shawl, it was natural. I did not plan it. It happened naturally. And our love like this has always been natural. I remember the old days when we didn't fear a black man because we lived with a black man. It is apartheid that divided us. Now it is democratic opportunist that wants to divide us again. I know after today that I won't be looking out of my window in fear when masses of people march up and down the M19. I will call His Eminence and I will call his people, because today we have synthesized our love. Re-synthesized, the love was always there, it had to be re-established. And today we're using this opportunity. In this hall, Your Eminence, we have the different races and we have also the different religions. And with your blessing, today we're going to make South Africa God's favorite country. It has all the ingredients of God's favoritism. It has every race here, it has every religion here, it has every culture here. We have all the minerals. We have everything, Your Eminence. South Africa, nobody needs to live in a shack. There's enough money in this country for everyone to have a decent house. There is enough money. Even today, if you look in the coffers, there's enough money for everyone to live a respectable life. And I'm sure, Your Eminence, I've been pleading with some black parties that have come to this ashram. I said, as an Indian, I cannot go to the shack dwellers and tell them that the African National Congress have dehumanized you. They have taken away your humanity and made you a vote bank. I cannot tell them that, they will kill me in that shack. But you black members, you can go to those shacks and tell them that the ANC has robbed them of their humanity. Through being an instrument of God, we need a strong, vibrant, black majority government. And Your Excellency, in this 35 years that you've been in leadership, you have proven it to South Africa and the world, that the IFP is ready to become that black majority government. Your Eminence, two days ago, one of the accused passed on in custody. We need to pray together that this does not spill over and opportunist does not take this passing on of this human being who died as an accused and reignite racial tensions.
Yes.
We need to be aware, and I need to discuss this on this platform, that we must not give these opportunists any opportunity to divide us. They have their constituency, you have yours, and we as religious leaders, Your Eminence, we have failed you from all religions, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, because we were sleeping when the looting was happening. Not this looting, Your Eminence.
That's right.
That intellectual looting.
Yeah.
We religious leaders. We were fast asleep.
Excellent.
We did not get up.
Yeah.
And we are also responsible, Pastor, for that big looting that took place at national government, provincial government, and municipal government. And it is us religious leaders to get up from this slumber and support you, Your Eminence. We need to support you in every step that you take whilst you are alive. We must show you. We must get up and we must show you starting from today. And as I've stated to other political parties, Your Eminence, and I'm also saying, I donate myself to the IFP.
Wow.
I'm only a phone call away and we do not have a lot of time, I think 1 week. Any area where you need me, black or Indian, I'm looking at oneness, I'm not looking at black, I'm not looking at Indian. Whisk me away, Les Governor, and promise me for every attendance you'll give me a shawl or some. I don't want to take too much of your time. I wanted to clear up these sticky points. Your Majesty, if you look on this end, you'll see on this portrait, just Jessica, show him, Lord Ramanuj. Can you see? Okay. He appeared in this world 1,000 years ago in South India. He was a pontiff of the Sri Rangam temple, which still exists today, which has its existence 2,000 years before his birth. I am a disciple through that system which started at creation. And he stated 1,000 years ago that these spiritual centers are reservoirs of spirituality. But the spirituality cannot be contained within these reservoirs. We need to take it from here and distribute it into society. He also stated, Your Eminence, that the different religions can coexist peacefully together if you respect all and worship your own. Respect all, worship your own. He said this 1,000 years ago. 1,000 years ago, Your Eminence, in India there were only Indians. But his message was not for only Indians. His message was universal. And 1,000 years later, I am making that dream a reality in South Africa and around the world.
Wow.
As much as politics is concerned, he has stated that we have to enter society. We cannot sit on these seats, Your Eminence, and do this and expect magic to happen. We have to be the magic. We have to become that magic. And it is through this that the Sri Narayan Dham and the IFP is seated here together, because we have to be the magic. God is not going to come from somewhere and fix something. He has given us the tools, He has given us the country, He has given us the intellect, and He has given us a great leader in His Eminence. If we follow, and I'm sure, Les, you don't have complicated instructions. All your instructions are basic from His Eminence.
Yes.
Be honest, speak the truth, and as you told me, don't make promises that you cannot keep after elections. These are called back to basics.
Yeah.
And you know, when cricketers go wrong, both batting and bowling, when they can't bat anymore, they can't bowl anymore, and when they are interviewed later, when you see them back on track, they always tell you, my coach said I must come back to basics. And when you go back to basics, you deliver your real word.
Yes.
And His Eminence has always been in the basics, for those of you who know him for many years. And because he has been in basics, you all are the cleanest political party that's in South Africa today. It's because of the basics. I'm going to conclude, Your Eminence, and then you're going to speak and tell our congregation and tell the world as well. This discourse is broadcasted in 48 countries around the world, and I'm sure you have a message for all of them. Jai Sri Narayan.